Hi, I want to start this video with a little motivation, mostly for myself or anyone else who lives in societies that don't give a single damn about artists. Until now, you've probably noticed that the path isn't difficult because of passion. It's hard because firstly, you need to convince yourself that you're not delusional and you can actually make an artwork. And then you have to convince everybody else that it's not just some kind of craft you want to create. I come from a society where art is either an inconvenience or a joke. In here, people genuinely believe that they could be the next DiCaprio or Nolan if you just hand them an Alexa. First week of university, and I had strangers, other students, other people on our way to the university asking me, why have I wasted a diploma in physics and mathematics on theater directing? My parents were not thrilled about this idea either. They wanted a full package. What's up with the kittens anyway? Doctor, engineer, scientists, the whole boring dream that pays off. And I remember telling them, if you force me into studying a program I don't like, I will drop out midway. That sentence scared them more than anything else, and it worked for me. After graduating, I was so desperate to prove that I could make a living with an art degree that I literally rang the doorbells of every school and kindergarten in my city and asked them whether they wanted an art teacher. Eventually, I got hired at this IB school as an English-speaking art teacher, the youngest teacher in the whole building, trying to look professional and grown up, while teaching kids who treated art class like a malfunctioning amusement park. Ugh, I honestly hope I haven't messed up the voice. I don't have energy to record again. I'm aging. I've said on my threads why. Go check it out. These kids were born and raised in European countries and somehow freaked out when I showed them a pixelated picture of Mona Lisa's cleavage. Their parents were worse. During a 3-hour teacher-parent conference, one parent sat down to talk to me. But the second I gave the kids the grades they actually earned, grade appealed everywhere. Third year of my bachelor's, we had to perform a monologue from a classical play and make a video to perform with it. My choice was my favorite play, Medea, written by Euripides. And you know, something hit me for the first time. What if I make this film with pre-existing footage? Because I didn't have a good camera back then. And well, come on, it was a long time ago. Our phone cameras weren't that good either. Not like a weird kind of collage, more like a documentary. We didn't have ChatGPT back then to tell us, yeah girl, that's called archival documentary. So I didn't even know that it existed as a genre. Chose the scenes, wrote an outline, shaped the story, edited on Movie Maker, I think. That was the one we had on Windows, right? Yeah, Movie Maker. Suddenly I made a film. Of all the creatures that have life and reason, we women are the most miserable. First, we must buy ourselves a husband, spending vast sums of money, and then the very master of our bodies we must accept as Lord. This is the greatest of our trials. And whether he will turn out good or bad, we cannot tell. For a woman cannot dismiss her husband. She has no refuge. We come to new customs and laws, forced to learn how to deal with a household not our own. If we manage this well and our husband accepts our yoke, life is enviable. If not, we're lost. But the man, when he grows tired of the home, goes out and finds relief elsewhere, while we must look only to one soul. They say we live a life free of danger at home, while they fight with despair. Foolish talk. I would rather stand 3 times in battle than bear 1 child. That moment stuck with me, especially because I received amazing feedback from our professor and other students who watched me perform the monologue and watched the video projected on a wall behind me. I was creating without having to wait for a camera. When I quit that job at the IB school, during the COVID era, I took a film editing course. Film editing with Premiere Pro. One of my best decisions ever. I had a decent camera and I was able to film some things based on the concepts I had, and I created so many interesting films, short films mostly, not as professional as what I can create now, but enough to get the attention of my editing tutor, and he encouraged me to keep doing this, don't be a perfectionist, stuff like that. And I even used some of those short films that I made for that class to apply for the National University of Arts in Bucharest, Romania, where I studied my master's. I initially wanted to study filmmaking or something theater related, but those universities were so expensive and they had like 6 students. At this university, I had to choose this program. I was like, well, the title has photo video in it, so maybe it's interesting, something related to what I wanted to do. Well, it wasn't. I'll make a whole other video about my experience at that university. There's so much to say. And yeah, that's where everything clicked. Using objects, photos, texts, drawings, whatever that can help you tell a story. And for this genre of filmmaking, you don't need fancy cameras or expensive equipment. It should be your story, your lived experiences, and your voice. And archival documentary is not about old stuff. It's about turning fragments, journals, VHS tapes, receipts, voices, family stories into a narrative that carries emotional weight. My master's dissertation explored a folkloric ritual called Zor that we have in my country, and some memories from my childhood that I didn't have any pictures from. Nothing existed from that time. Regarding the ritual that I told you about, there is a huge documentation gap. I tried to see whether AI, artificial intelligence, was able to fill in that visual documentation gap based on the textual material that we have. The result, it failed, because AI might be able to imitate form, but not the memory. I talked about my master's dissertation in this video because I wanted you to know that you don't need AI generated material to be able to create archival documentary. AI cannot replace the emotional core required to tell a story. It hasn't lived your life, doesn't have your experiences. It doesn't understand grief, nostalgia, sadness, or any of the emotions you want to evoke in an audience who you're going to show your film to. You need honesty and passion to create this kind of documentary about one of your stories, something that you want to get out of your system, something that maybe you can't tell your family members but somehow want people at a festival to see. Leave comments or ideas, your experiences, create something, send it to me, I'm curious to know, or share it on the social media platforms. It's a nice experience. I think people should give it a try. Thank you for watching.